Hey guys, it's Friday. Today I'm gonna bring you my week 7 picks. I had to wait a little bit to record the video because it was still not clear who would play and who wouldn't, and I wasn't sure about LaShawn McCoy and guys like that. But since it's Friday now, I had to bring you this video so you could still use it to prepare your lineups. Okay, I'll give you some players at each position I like this week. I leave out the players I already have in my lineup that I posted earlier this week. If you want to see those players too, check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. Okay. So at quarterback, I like Tom Brady. I think he he has a perfect floor every week. He plays Pittsburgh. They will give up the ball a lot because Landry Jones won't. He just won't keep the ball for too long, and Pittsburgh will go three and out quite a bit. I think they have Le'Veon Bell, so they will run a lot, which takes some time. But I think New England should see the ball quite a lot though. And Tom Brady, if you give him the ball too often, he will hurt you bad. Yeah, so he's a great play this week. The other quarterback I like is right down here. Oops, Matthew Stafford. Okay, so I wouldn't really stack him with anyone this week. I would just play him on his own because he has found his old weapons again. So he has three top receivers he can go to, as well as a tight end and a running back who will both be back this week probably. They're both questionable, but seem to be good to go on Sunday. So he has five targets he throws to a lot, and he really spreads out the ball. So I wouldn't really play any of the receivers, or not even Theoretic, whom I really love. Like, I had him in my lineups the past 4 weeks, I think, every time. Uh, but Matthew Stafford on his own is a great play. He's up to a good game. He won't be owned at all, I think. I think 5% is maximum on him because all the guys will be on Derek Carr, Blake Bortles, maybe even Mariota or Kirk Cousins, who are cheaper, and especially on Andy Dalton. So at 6,400 he's still cheap, but he's above all the cheap players that people love this week, so I think he will be super low owned and will have a great week with a lot of upside. Okay, for running back, of course. Um, LaShawn McCoy's out. What better value can you get than a $3,000 running back going against Miami with a full workload? There's no better value you can get this week. He will he will get the carries. He will even see some targets, I think. Buffalo defense will step up too, in my opinion. And they will play it slow because even Robert Woods is banged up. I don't know if he's good to go yet. If not, it will just increase Gillislee workload. So he's a great play this week. Another great play is DeMarco Murray. I think I have him in my lineup, but I still have to mention him in here. 7,200. He's LaShawn McCoy being out will push his ownership even higher than expected before, but you saw Lamar Miller's game last week against Indianapolis, and DeMarco Murray is just a great running back. He sees a huge lot of carries, a whole lot of carries. With that huge load, he just has to perform, and he will. Okay, and one more running back is Spencer Ware. Um, I don't think people will be on him because they're scared Jamal Charles will take away too many snaps and touches. But it's still uh, New Orleans they're going against. So even if they split 50-50, both could see a game of 20 or more points. I mean, they combined for over 40 points last week against Oakland. He had 27, I think Jamal Charles had like 15. And I could see something like that this week again. And Kansas City passing game just sucks. And I mean, you can run the ball against New Orleans. The defense is so bad on the road. And people fade Spencer Ware, so I think he's a great tournament, if not even cash play this week. At a decent salary and a good floor and high upside. Okay. 4 wide receivers. We have, as I told you in my people to fade this week, I wouldn't play Amari Cooper. I would go with Michael Crabtree. He has the better matchup. People will be all over Cooper. After the last 2 weeks, he performed pretty good, so people will be chasing points, and Crabtree will be the guy. Okay, Crabtree will be the guy, low owned, who will score the points. Jacksonville, Oakland is supposed to be a shootout game. I don't like either quarterbacks too much. I don't know about Allen Robinson. People will be all over him too. I just think Michael Crabtree is a good play this week. At 6,600, he will be overseen, and you can fit him in every lineup, in my opinion. Another great play this week is Mike Wallace. So if Steve Smith is out, Mike Wallace is kind of a must start, in my opinion. The Jets are super bad against big plays through the air and good against the run. So the Baltimore run attack will be not existing, in my opinion. And Flacco will go for the deep ball quite a bit against New York, I think. And Mike Wallace will be one of the guys to catch them. He will have at least 1 or 2 big plays. Hopefully one of them goes for a touchdown. And if he sees 9 targets like he saw last time, he will have a decent point per reception amount too. So at 5,800 and expected 20 points, I think he's a great play this week. Okay, and another play I like this week is down here, Dontrell Inman. Okay, so that's kind of a more sneaky play. Everybody will be on Tyrell Williams and Hunter Henry, that's for sure. No one will play Travis Benjamin. He's banged up. He's supposed to be ready for Sunday. I hope he won't be, because Dontrell Inman will be an even better play if he's not. But everybody just sees the bad Atlanta defense on paper. They actually have Trufant, who shut down receivers. I mean, he shut down Cooks. He had Cooper having a bad game. So yeah, I think he had some tough matchups, and he just made them perform bad. I think he didn't allow more than 12 points to the wide receiver 1 this season, and he will probably start on Benjamin if he plays. But if Benjamin is banged up, and I mean, Williams will see all the targets, he will switch over to Williams, and that leaves Dontrell Inman. If we look back, he had only 1 target last week. No one will be on him. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. but he had this one huge game with 11 targets. No one expected. It just came out of nothing. They were trailing by a lot, so they had to throw a lot, and that will be the case again. If Trufant goes on Williams, Williams will be kind of out of the game, and Inman will be the guy to go to for Phillip Rivers, and I think he's a sneaky play at a low ownership, great price, and high upside this week. For tight end, I like to spend up on tight end, so I love Jordan Reed this week. It's Detroit. I mean, it's supposed to be a game in Detroit's favor, so Washington will have to throw a lot. Detroit's passing defense is just awful. Jordan Reed has a good matchup. The only concern is that he won't play. He didn't take part in practice on Thursday. I hope he will be ready. If not, that leaves a good spot for Pierre Garçon. I mean, he's the only big guy in Detroit if Reed is out. And at 3,700, a super cheap guy, but if Jordan Reed is able to play, he's a must start for me. If not, I'm probably gonna go to Hunter Henry on the lineups that don't have Inman. And if I have Inman in my lineups, I will spend down again and take Gary Barnidge. And those two for 3,300 and 3,200 will give you a great salary to just spend up on one or two wide receivers. You could even fit Julio Jones and AJ Green in your lineups if you play those two. And Gary Barnidge, they will trail against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's bad against the tight ends. He saw a decent amount of targets for a tight end, and I mean, he hasn't caught a touchdown yet, and he still has 12 or 13 points in the last 3 of the last 4 games. At 3,200, he's great value. He will, if he sees a touchdown this week, he'll score around 20 points, and I mean, it's a tight end, so 20 points is huge. Okay, and to finish up, we go to the defense. A lot of people will play the Vikings, even though it's 3,700. They will probably spend up because the Vikings are a safe play every week. I like to go to the Bills if I spend up because, I mean, McCoy's out, Woods is banged up. They will run a lot with Gillislee, and the defense will have to keep them in the game. And I mean, the Bills' defense is great defense. They play Miami, awful team. I don't like Miami at all. I don't like any player Miami has this week, and I think the Bills will have, the defense will, yeah, I mean, keep them to a low score and get 1 or 2 interceptions at least and force another turnover. And the other defense, okay, I mean, that's an obvious play, I think. It's 2,800 for the Ravens going against New York Jets, second quarterback in. I mean, maybe that's worse for the Baltimore Ravens than having Fitzpatrick under center, but I mean, it's a Jets, so there's no real threat except for Marshall, and he could burn them on 1 or 2 plays, but the Ravens will keep them in check the rest of the times, and I think people will go to the Patriots in that price area. And the last defense are the Cardinals. Great play. Going against Seattle. Jimmy Graham didn't practice Thursday, so Seattle is down to pretty much Doug Baldwin and their running game, and I think Arizona can shut the Seattle Seahawks down. Playing at home, great matchup for Arizona at a price of 3,000. That's perfect. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great week. look forward to see some of you in tournaments and have fun.